in the preconditions of salah, we have included Tarkul Kalam al-Ajnabi. In simple words, no talking is allowed in salah. Now, some people include this from inside salah, and some people include it from the precondition of salah. To stop talking is a precondition of salah, or is it haram inside salah? Now, obviously, it starts with as soon as the salah starts, you cannot be talking. So, in fact, you have to be quiet. You have to stop talking in order to start salah. You have to stop your conversation so you can start salah. Some people include in precondition, and some people include it with the takbir or part of the salah. Nevertheless, it has to be there when the salah starts. So, it is an accepted fact from, I don't think anyone disagrees, that you're not allowed to talk in salah. Salah is, we don't need to go in details of the dalail, because there is no one who disagrees with that. Now, if someone speaks during salah, a very slight speech, if someone speaks a word or a letter or makes sounds or talks which is not from salah, makes a communication of speech which is not from salah, even if no one hears him, he's alone, no one heard him. Yeah. For example, in Arabic you can say qi. Yeah, save yourself. Qi. It's one letter, qi. Yeah, or ri, or whatever, there can be a smallest letter. His salah is invalid for having the communication or talk. Except what is allowed. From Sharia we know it is allowed. For example, if Imam makes a mistake and someone says Subhanallah, yeah, it is habit of our people, especially Asian people. If Imam made a mistake, everyone says Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. No, not for you to say Allahu Akbar. Subhanallah, that's how you remind him. Okay? There is in Qiyamul Layl, in Nafil Salah, there is more leniency. Okay? We know in Qiyamul Layl, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, when he was praying Salah, he would pass through an ayah of istighfar, and he will stop and he will do istighfar. He will pass through ayah of tasbih, and he will stop and he will do tasbih. And he will do hamd. And this is, that can be done. That can be done in Nafil Salah. Now obviously, the madhahib they differ. In mainly Malikis and Ahnaf, they say is to be done in Nafil only. In Fard you can't do that, because there is no proof on Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam doing it in Fard. The others say, well, the proof is there that it can be done, but whichever, I think, whichever way you are inclined and you follow, the Malikis and Ahnaf, they say not to be done in Fard. Okay? The reason they say that, because Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam has prayed Fard all his life, and there is no proof of him doing it in Fard. So he says they say it is for Nafil only. But you can argue both ways. Alright. Now, what I want to concentrate on, where do people, the most important issue, no one really talks in Salah. Okay? No one really talks in Salah, except when it comes to dua. This is what people ask more of. The questions are regarding dua. Now, there are only two places in Salah where dua is recommended. Okay? One is in your sujood. when you are in sujood, you can do dua. And the other places after tashahhud, before salam, to make dua. When it comes to making dua, there are 5 points you need to remember, and the views of scholars, they are in terms of what dua you can make. We'll start from the strictest view, going to the most lenient view. Okay? One view is that you can only make dua that has been narrated from Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam in sajda. For example, in sajda. Let's talk about sajda, okay? They say you can make dua in sajda because there are many narrations of what Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to say in sajda. So they say you should say what the Prophet used to say in sajda. The second view is you can make any masnoon dua, any dua from Quran or Sunnah, proven dua from Quran or Sunnah. You can make any dua of your choice in sajda from Quran and Sunnah. That's the second view. Even if it wasn't reported that Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam has made that dua in sajda, but the fact that that dua has been narrated, all right? That's the second view. The third view is that you can do the first two, but you can also ask any dua of your choice in Arabic, as long as it is not something you would which is like the speech of human. You can ask for forgiveness, for example. You can ask for health, and you can ask for those things which you will ask Allah only. Yeah? You've got, this is point number 3. So there is one group says the point number 1 only. The second says point 2 and 1. The third says point 3, 2 and 1. And the fourth one says 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. They say you can ask dua in Arabic. You can ask dua in Arabic in sajda, except Hanabila. But they say you can ask even the worldly pleasures. The Hanabila, they said if you ask for worldly pleasures, your salah will be invalidated. You don't ask for steak and a burger and coke in your sajda, for example. Okay, it's an extreme example. Or I want a beautiful wife. And other ulama say, those who are in this view, they say no, you can ask anything, because who else you gonna ask other than Allah? Even worldly pleasures should be asked from Allah. And dua the point number 5 is that you can do all of the above. So the point number 1, they said you can't do 2, 3, 4, 5. The 2 says you can do 1, but you can't do 3, 4, 5. The 3 says you can do 1 and 2 and 3, but you can't do 4 and 5. The 4 says you can do 1, 2, 3, 4, but not 5. The fifth one is dua in your own language. Dua in your own language. There is a lot of talk about dua in your own language. Without going into too much detail, I think what seems correct, Allahu A'lam, if a person is able to make dua in Arabic, he can say, Allahumma Rabbana atina fid dunya hasana wa fil akhirati hasana wa qina adhab an-nar. Then he shouldn't say in English, oh Allah, grant me best in the life of world. If a person has an ability to make dua in Arabic, he shouldn't be, because the salah is in Arabic. And you should make dua really what is proven from Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. But if you make any dua, then make duas which are proven in this in Islam, in any hadith or from Quran. But if you're gonna go and make your own dua, you make dua in your own words because you don't know the dua in the hadith and Quran. You want to ask something, but you don't ask for worldly pleasures, or you even ask your worldly pleasures and forgiveness for akhirah and you everything included, but has to be in Arabic. But if a person, let's say a revert, he is reverted today, and he knows the closest I am going to be is in Sajdah to my Lord, and he goes to Sajdah, what should he do? For this person, he can make dua in English or whichever language he speaks. It will be, or he has to learn at least one dua that he can make. But there are madhahib, they say you cannot make in your, they say your salah will be batil. Most madhahib, they do not allow, most scholars, they do not allow dua in other language except for the one he has no other way. Except he has one, he doesn't know how to pronounce Arabic. If he doesn't know how to pronounce Arabic, he is new to Islam, do we stop him from making dua in sajda? So some people say that yes, he should keep the salah because it's a ibadah, it should be as it's been narrated, he should make his dua after the salah. And those who allowed it, they allowed it. But in this extreme circumstance, okay, we can argue whether allowed or not. But for a normal person who knows how to make du'as and he has the ability to learn Arabic language and he can pronounce it, then he should not make dua in, at least he should not make dua in English. And even in Arabic, most Hanabila, they say, not most Hanabila, some Hanabila, they say that if you were to ask for worldly pleasures in sajda, this will invalidate your salah. This is not the conversation. For example, if you want to have a Ferrari and you want to have a burger, this is not the dua you should be making. This is against the adab. But the other ulama say, no, who else you going to ask? If you want genuinely something, you ask Allah. You can ask in sajda. That's for sajda. Okay, these 5 points in sajda. So we don't go in madhab by madhab only because it's going to make it too long. It's good enough to know that these views exist. The strongest view is obviously to stick. The best for a human being is to stick to what Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam has done. If he wants to expand, he should make dua which is narrated in Quran and Hadith. If he knows Arabic and he has a need, he doesn't know the dua for it, he should make it in Arabic. And if he doesn't know the dua, Arabic is, I say, I'm no one, is best for him to finish the salah, then ask Allah. Because salah is a specific ibadah and there is no narration, or because there were ajams in time of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam didn't tell them to pray in their languages. The dua is the salah is to be done in Arabic. Yeah. But obviously, because people have different views, you can say some people do khutbah in their language. Some people say no khutbah. Ahnaf, for example, say it has to be in Arabic, because it comes to the point. Anything which is ibadah, they say ibadah. I'll come to this point later. Ibadah is tawqifi, meaning ibadah, worship, you can't make it up. Worship has to be done the way it was shown. You can't, otherwise it's not a worship. There is no point of Allah sending a messenger if people just going to invent a worship. Worship has to be taught the way the Prophet has, and the way he taught it was Arabic.